Warning: the following podcast contains violent scenes that may be unsettling to some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
The post-Civil War landscape of the American West offers escape and opportunities to many new immigrants who come to the country's shore. A few of them brave the journey to the camp town of Missouri Crossing, each looking for a new lease on life in the Dakota Territories. Join the settlers of Missouri Crossing, including Gregory Smith, played by Joaquin, Sister Margaret Miller, played by Monica, Bjorn Hagman, played by Chris, and Craig as the keeper of arcane lore, as we explore the horrors that await us on Down Darker Trails. Can you make me a spot hidden roll?
Okay, 39 out of 40. Just made it.
Well, as you're kind of looking around, trying to see where the man you were just speaking to went, you kind of see someone is catching your eye and trying to hold it. You notice that the man you saw when he came in wearing the almost dirty white jacket and like a blonde mustache and blonde hair. It's almost blonde enough to be white, but he's not quite like albino. He's kind of just shuffling cards and just kind of staring at you.
Gregory will sort of meet his stare, and does he keep staring at me?
Yes, he holds your gaze.
Okay, Gregory will just sort of shift a bit, and then he'll just sort of like nudge Father Nos and sort of just gesture in the direction of the man staring at him.
Father Nos looks around and says, "What am I looking at?"
Do you see that man over there with the cards? Staring at me, and he hasn't stopped. He's been staring at me like a minute now.
I see. And as you're staring back and holding his gaze, the man smiles at you.
Yeah. I don't quite like the look of him.
What do you want to do?
Gotta go with what Gregory would do. I guess my better instincts. He'll go up and sort of walk over to the man.
So
you got something to say to me?
When you get closer, you notice that, again, he has the white suit jacket and it's like a black ribbon tie. And he's smiling and then kind of starts dealing you a hand of cards. He's tall even while seated. Very light skin, short, curly, whitish blonde hair. And then he just kind of smiles. It's like, please join me.
What game we playing?
What game do you want to play?
Okay, now definitely, some of the hairs on the back of Gregory's neck are starting to stick up. And he's like, I learned a thing called Hold'em on the trip over. We could try that.
Sure. And he takes the cards that he had dealt out and kind of messes them back into the pile that he has. It starts mixing them in front of you. And you're kind of like, gauging him. You notice that he has like a gold ring with like some sort of red ruby gemstone on it. And you're seeing like hints that he's probably wealthier than he's letting on. He gets all the cards together again and deals you two, and then looks at Father Nos, smiles, and deals him as well. Father Nos kind of shrugs and sits down as well.
So, what's your name, stranger?
Weaver, Cornelius Weaver, if you must know. Little bird told me that you were a skilled craftsman, and see, it's my business to know anyone worth knowing in camp.
Well, I do endeavor to do a good job in my crafting.
He sort of winces at your little bit of a stutter there, but then kind of recomposes himself. Yes, and he sort of just holds your gaze for a bit until you kind of feel uncomfortable, and then he smiles.
Gregory will sort of like glance towards Father Nos, and then back at Cornelius, and then it's like, so, you need something made by a blacksmith? I know how to work iron, and I can work with some steel if you can get it.
Steel might be good. And he looks down at his cards and says, check.
Again, Gregory will just sort of look at Father Nos.
Father Nos looks at you and taps his knuckle on the table.
Do we have poker chips or anything like that, or just cards?
You don't see any poker chips.
I guess I'll check too.
Okay. Did Gregory check without even looking at his cards?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, he flips over 3 more cards and says, well, until recently, I made my milk money in cotton. I admit you Yanks won, but I tell you that my slaves had it good. And with me until Sherman brought the fire god to my home. But nowadays, I'm more of a gambling man.
Ah, I see. At this point, Gregory will look down at the table and sort of realize that they're playing right now with nothing really at stake.
Mm-hmm.
You do a lot of gambling without coins or money?
Sometimes. Well, we'll say that this one's for a favor.
Okay. And at this point, Gregory will actually pick up his cards and actually look at them.
Okay, it's a decent hand comparatively, because you've seen the 3 cards showing and you're looking down. Father Nos takes another peek. You know that he's okay at this game and knows the rules, but he's not a renowned gambler, being a Jesuit priest and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel fairly confident that you got at least a playable hand in this.
All right. What kind of favor would you be interested in?
Well, I'm not sure yet. It might be a little bit down the road that I'll need it. But if you seem like the man that I think you might be, then having you owe me a favor might be very good. And I think I'm in the position to lend out a few favors as well needed.
So let's say I win. What kind of favors could I expect from you?
What are you looking for?
I have to think about that for a bit. I don't know what I need till I need it.
Yes, exactly. So now you understand what I'm doing. And he looks at the cards over there and smiles and taps his knuckle on the table. Father Nos follows suit.
Gregory, who'll sort of glancing at the cards that got the cards on the table and on his hand, is just check again.
All right, and he burns another card and turns up the last card. Can you, at this point, do you have any skill in gambling?
No, I don't. Just the whatever's automatic.
Okay, so let's roll using luck then.
Well, I got a good luck. I still got the 90 luck. 48 out of 90.
So you feel fairly confident about your hand, given what's out there.
Yeah, Gregory, he'll just sort of he's waiting for, do we show the cards now, or?
If you like.
All right.
Unless you wanted to raise the stakes.
Well, you see, I prefer to have favors from people I know and know what they can do for me. So until I know just what kind of favors I can expect from you, I don't quite know if I should raise the stakes.
Can you make me a persuasion roll?
Okay. I do not have anything in that again. 27 out of 10. Nope, I did not make that.
Well, you see, I'm in the same position as you then, and I have to take it on faith that any favors that I might win from you are things that you can deliver on.
Makes sense to me. Well, I guess I'll show my hand first, and then he'll just play his cards out.
All right, so you have a decent hand. You have 2 pair or something, and Father Nos also has the same 2 pair, but Cornelius has a 3 of a kind, and he just smiles.
Luck was on your side, good sir. It seems I owe you one favor.
Well, it was this time.
All right. Well, let me know if you need anything metal worked on.
I will. It was a pleasure meeting you, and he stands and extends his hand, and as he stands, you realize he's really, really tall. He's you're not a small man, but he's close to 6.5 feet at least.
So yeah, Gregory will definitely be he'll blink a bit at his height, but he will shake his hand and just let him walk out. And as soon as he feels the Cornelius is out of earshot, Gregory will turn to Father Nos and just say, "I don't trust that man. I don't like him one bit."
Neither do I, and I'm not quite sure if I owe him a favor or not.
Well, if he asks, just pray for him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of got a weird feeling about him.
Yeah, I gotta say, I didn't really have that much chance to talk to many Southerners during the war, but the few I did manage to meet when they weren't trying to kill us he was hot even for them.
Yeah, I don't know. Suppose we shouldn't judge. He seemed polite enough.
Just because a man's polite doesn't mean he won't stick you in the back with a knife.
True. It doesn't hurt to have friends here, though.
True enough.
At some point, the bartender catches your eye, Gregory, and is indicating that you should approach.
Yes?
The Jew's free now, and he indicates a man at the end of the bar. He's actually at a table, and he has a big account book open. You see he's kind of a shorter man. He's wearing some sort of tweed jacket, and he's scribbling in some sort of shorthand. You're too far away to see it, but appears to be engrossed by his work.
So yeah, Gregory will go sort of head up to him, and he'll try to put on his best polite face as he goes to sit down. Sorry.
You take the seat across from him then?
Yes.
He looks up from his book, says, yes.
I've been told you are the man to go to see if you want to conduct business in this town. I was told to say Hendry put in a good word for me.
Ah, are you a friend then of Mr. Greer?
Greer? I can't say as I am right now. I just met the man earlier at the bar.
I see.
I do think we managed to talk a bit, and I feel we were able to talk friendly, I guess.
Well, that's good. That should make things go much more smoothly then. All right. So, and he kind of dabs his pen on his tongue and adjusts the ink flow of it. Says, what can I put you down to? Farmland? Are we talking some sort of river access? Are we talking coal? Do you have a gold permit in mind? What's your game?
Well, right now, what I want to do is get some land to build a smithy and some more land to build the church and even more land to set up a few homes for the people that want to settle here.
Ah, so he licks his finger and flips through this book a little bit. Well, we got farmland about 10 miles from town at $1.25 an acre, but we sell it in 50-acre parcels. If you want in town, it's $25 a month or $500 to purchase a lot, but no one really does that. We also have a little bit of a charge for our rent as well. And can you make me an accounting roll as he's rattling off all these figures?
Okay. Thank God I actually put some dots into that.
Yes, and thank God you're the one doing this.
46 out of 31. Can I pay off the difference, or is that something
you want
else?
to push it? That's another option.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't want to risk getting screwed business-wise, or I don't want to push it just because if I fail, then that probably means even worse. I get even a worse deal.
Do you want to keep the failure, or do you want to spend a bunch of luck then?
Can I spend luck? I got luck to burn.
Sure. How much luck are you going to spend to get it down under a passing score?
I think I need 15.
Okay.
To go from 46 to 31, which would be a success. So down from a 90 to 75.
All right. So you're kind of thinking and trying to take in all these figures and things that he's been spouting out at you. And there's a few things you realize. First off, farmland is way cheaper than land closer to the town. $25 a month for rent. You'd be able to stay in business, but things would be tight unless you could attract more business. If you wanted to purchase lots in town, you mentioned $500 to purchase a lot, but that is a lot of money. It wouldn't bankrupt you, but it involve like a heavy portion of your wealth. But you notice one thing with your passing roll, since you spend luck, the rent was actually open-ended. So you kind of have the idea that if you're paying that, there's no real
limit to what he could charge you.
Right, and there's no guarantee of ownership at the end.
Right. So Gregory will listen to him talk for a bit, and it's like,
You have the feeling that there's some sort of game here. You heard talk of it earlier, and Gregory's at this point just trying not to get extorted just cripplingly.
I haven't heard figures like that since I left Chicago. Back then, and I could tell you some of the things the men in charge of loaning and stuff. Oh, I tell you, those men, they could charge you. They knew how to sell you something and leave you wondering whether or not you bought anything to begin with.
Well, I'm sure that any charges that you may incur would be fully agreed upon by you.
Well, quite frankly, the numbers you're pointing out, well, if I wanted to make a living here, it almost seems like it'd be easier just to stay out in the prairie and just build a house with whatever wood I could cut down myself.
Yes, and you are free to do so.
But how about this? Instead, how about you let me come here, set up a business, and let me have a business and actually be able to live off my business, and then you'll see that in the future you'll get more out of that arrangement.
What sort of arrangement were you thinking?
Well, I work with metal, and if need be, if, say, someone, I don't know, happens to find some kind of metal that they need melted down, shaped, hidden away somewhere. I know how to make it all kinds of things.
Well, it sounds like you'll be doing that regardless of whether or not I might give you a deal.
Well, yes, but say someone has a bunch of silver. They need to melt it down to make it better for silver bars. If you know how to do it just right, you can sort of skim off a bit of the metal. The person who bring it in won't know anything better, but there'll still be a little bit left over for anyone who wants to, skim a bit.
He names a figure and then basically asks for a 20% of your income until the amount is paid off. Father Nos kind of cringes at it, but
Do I know if that's actually a livable deal I can handle, or do I have another accounting roll to see if I can actually live off that, or?
Sure, if you like.
37 out of 31. Dang it, I just barely missed it.
Do you want to push it or spend luck? Or are you fine taking the fail?
I'll spend luck. It's just because this is his business stuff. He wants to make sure he's getting a good deal out of making the money on the business, so he can, that's pretty much the whole reason he moved out here, so he can do better business.
Sure. You basically say 10%. He brings up 15. You settle on 12, and it's going to be tight, but you figure that if you could make money quick enough to pay it off, it'd be tough but doable.
Okay, I can live with that.
And for your fellow parishioners, he says, and then notices Father Nos next to you.
Well, since we're doing good business here, I'm pretty sure, similar rates and stuff could be doing good. I mean, it's a church. It's always like this. They always ask for, charity at the end of the service. And if some charity happens to go towards, those who truly need it, they sort of look at just the Father Nos and just sort of go along with this, with his eyes.
Father Nos is actually not looking very happy about that at all.
I thought not, but he's like, go along with it with his eyes.
Can you make me a psychology roll?
74 out of 10. I don't notice anything, and I'm not spending luck for that.
You kind of have a feeling whatever it is, he'll get over it. I see, says the man who you've been dealing with, referred to only as the Jew up until this point. Well, I suppose if your parishioners took up a special collection, that might be able to cover some businesses. Now, see, we're not looking to fleece the church. It's probably going to bring even more legitimacy to this place. But any land given to a non-contributing sect, if it will, is land that we can't make money on, pay taxes with, put it towards good things like a fire brigade or protection at some point.
I see. Well, you are a shrewd businessman, I must admit. Okay, is that everything, or do I need?
Yeah, if you're okay accepting a deal that's gonna basically have you scraping by until you come to some sort of windfall, we could be good.
Okay, let me see if I can make some kind of roll, because I want to see if I can do something better than that.
You do realize that you might have some unneeded capital that you can put towards some of these costs if you could convince the right people.
Okay, it's all right.
Most of it is in cattle.
Oh no, get poor Mr. Freeman to give up the last of his herd just to make sure everyone else doesn't just... Oh, God. At that point, I definitely... Okay, so Gregory will say to the Jew, well, I'm liking the deal. Not really, he's saying in his head. But, I'm not the one to make a business deal right away. I do have to... there are some... I'm going to talk to the others, see if there are some more assets we can accrue together to make sure everything works out properly. I just want to make sure you get everything that you deserve.
Of course, but in a gesture of good faith, let me start inputting those deeds for you just to get things going. These things can take time.
I know. Don't worry. Thank you for that, and I'll be sure to let everyone know just who to thank for the absolute generosity you're showing.
Yes, of course. By the way, it's Brewster, Herman Brewster. I'm not even Jewish.
Truly?
Truly. Yeah, I don't know where that came from, actually.
Well, who knows? you never know what kind of nickname men will give people. I once knew a man back in the army days. We call him the Mountain. It was a joke because he was about a full head shorter than me, thin as a rake.
I don't
know
get
what.
it.
Don't know how. I didn't know either. That's just what they called him. I think it was because the last name was Molehill or something. I don't know exactly. It's some kind of joke. I only knew the man in passing.
So you conclude your business at the Silver Dollar. Your purse feeling quite a bit lighter as initial down payments of specie are exchanged, and like you could see Father Noss is kind of cringing for each silver and gold eagle that slides across the table. You don't feel like you've been cheated, but you feel like you
driven a hard bargain.
Driven a hard bargain, and you have an uncertain future ahead economically.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely on the walk back, Gregory is going to be like, just sort of cross his arms to himself and just be like, apologies for that, Father.
It's okay. Some men drive, deals with the devil, and I didn't want to be like Jesus there overturning the silver tables in the temple, you know what I mean? But I think it would do well for us to kind of just play whatever game that they have until we can be more secure in our futures.
Yes, and if it's any comfort, take faith in the fact that it could have been worse. I heard stories from back home in Chicago. Ugh.
I'm sure you did your best. If anything, paying the extra fee might keep any violence out of our area.
There are a few things we could do. It entirely depends on whether or not people agree to them or not. For example, if we could talk to Mr. Freeman and see if we could use a lesser's herd to sort of help it break even for the rest of us, but I'm loath to do that to a man who's already lost a lot.
Maybe we could lean on our parishioners to raise money. It's been done before.
Well, who knows? Maybe old Pirate Pete there by the river will strike gold and make everyone just give it away to everyone.
Yes, let's not put our faith on the delusions of prospectors, my son.
Of course not. I was just merely joking. But and who knows? Some prospectors do strike it rich. That was pretty much the whole reason people moved to California. So I've heard.
Yes. Well,
stranger things have happened.
If you excuse me, I have some thinking to do.
As do I, Father. As do I.
So a few days pass, and at some point you're kind of walking around the area that you had purchased for the group, and you're kind of like putting in some stakes and parceling out the land, making sure that you can get your water wheel in at a point where it's not going to like interfere with the other water wheel. You're working around with some of the woodcutters to basically like, hey, I'll pay you to just cut that tree and leave it there to clear out the land, and like you could probably just make like a cabin rather than having to saw it up. You're basically leading the charge with getting your settlement set up when you notice one of the lumberjacks is looking awfully familiar to you.
Who is it?
Oh, you recognize your brother Georgie, who is moonlighting on one of his days off with the woodcutters.
Well, hi there, brother.
So you did choose this place. I was hoping you would.
Yes, well, I figured it was the best place, right here, horse livery's right across the way. Got the sawmill over here, plenty of metal to be worked on. Might take the coal a bit longer to get here, but, well, gotta have everything in life.
Yes, I mean, once you get more of these logs fell, you could, start some charcoal burners in the forest over here, but it's more time that you're not at the smith. Maybe that's something the kids could do.
Yeah. So, picking up some extra work when you're not at the fort?
Yes. I have a couple days off at the end of my fortnight, as I mentioned, so I thought I'd come by and make some more coin. And, of course, say hello to you, my brother.
Well, hello to you, too. When you're done working, why don't you come on over? I'll let you meet the rest of the family. Get reacquainted.
I'd like nothing more. And you kind of like embrace, and a few hours pass and it's getting dark, and he kind of shows up at the camp you set up. It's mostly like the cover from your wagon has been taken off and stretched over some trees that have been fallen, and it's basically you have like a one-room cabin that you're all living in now. with plans for you to move your family into another more permanent place once your forge can be set up in the location that you're in. So it's like a temporary situation. Georgie comes up, you introduce them to Samantha and the kids. They're very excited to see him. And Samantha cooks some food for him, and you have a nice dinner. And at some point, when the kids are off to bed, he asks you if you wanted to do that thing that you've discussed earlier.
What was the thing again?
The bottle.
Yeah. He'll agree to the thing. And they'll go off, and I crack open the bottle of all the way from Chicago way.
Yeah, it's actually made it from the East Coast because that's where most of the rum was being manufactured, brought up from Florida probably. He's excited and mentions that, the corn whiskey's nice here, but, they don't have anything as nice as this. And you have some glasses and you sit down and just, reminisce about the past. And then he takes a little bit of the bottle and, I suppose you have like a fire or something, and he kind of just tilts the bottle and lets a few pours into the flames. It kind of rides up it for a little bit and dissipates, and then says, "That's for you, Alan, wherever you are."
Wherever you are.
So what's your plan then, brother?
We're building up our houses and smithies and places of business around this area. I already talked to the Jew about setting up a business deal. Not the best deal I could have gotten, but definitely far from the worst one.
I see. May I? And he indicates the wrapped up papers that he looks through it, and he's kind of nodding. He's like, "Yeah, I know this area. It's good land." And he's kind of the two of you are kind of going through it and comparing where, the church will go here, forge will go here, this neighbor will live here. And then he gets to a name and he's like, "Who's Hagberg?"
Oh, Hagman. Yeah, he's I don't know what country he's from. He's from somewhere in Northern Europe, Viking people. He might have seen him around here. A lot of scars with his son.
Yeah, I've seen him. And he's just pointing at the paper, and you notice instead of saying Bjorn Hagman on a plot of land, it says Hagberg.
Huh. Well, I suppose what really matter in the end? Whose name properly is on there, as long as there no Hagbergs come up to show up to town.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to do, Quinn?
Can't think of anything right now.
All right. Good evening with Georgie, talking over good memories of your father and mother and brother Alan, God rest his soul. And basically Georgie asks that, hey, if it's okay when he comes over here to make some more extra money, he asks if you'd mind if he could stay with you guys.
Of course not. We're family. My home is your home.
I was hoping you'd say that, but I'm a proud man and it hurts me to ask.
That's why you gotta make sure to be smart with your money. The army's paying you, isn't it?
Yes, but you know how coin goes when there's nothing to do, and I'm, just trying to make some extra on my off days. Because he kind of explains how he'll do a fortnight and then have some time off and then do another fortnight. But,
now you see, this is why. I imagine this conversation they had before. This is why you do this with your money. He's going into brother mode, just be okay, so this is how I do my business. He's going to full lecturing brother mode.
Yeah, and you get the idea that he's taking it in stride because you're helping him out, but he's just kind of nods and takes another drink of the rum, and you look down and you notice that the bottle that you brought in just opened up the night is almost gone, and kind of have some idea where some of his money's going. How do you deal with it, brother? All those things that we saw, all those lives lost.
Well, I know there's some things I can't forget, but I'm just trying to remind myself I'm still alive. The sun comes up in the day, goes down at night. Yeah, it just keeps on turning. Gotta just keep moving forward. Gotta make sure you don't let things sneak up on you. And then he'll sort of glance towards the prairie.
Yeah, you kind of have this feeling you forgot about it in the hustle and bustle of everything going on, but just as the words escape your lips, it's you realize that there's just emptiness all around you now, and there could be eyes anywhere.
If I'm being perfectly honest, sometimes I wake up at night and just feel like their eyes all on me.
Yeah.
It gets easier when you have a bed to sleep in with a family to keep you company.
Maybe that's what I need.
You got time to find a wife. Maybe not here, just as for the saloon. Not too many honest women looking for husbands here. But if you want, you could travel. You get another post in the army somewhere. Find a wife there.
We'll see. Maybe we'll head west after we're done with the natives here, or maybe I'll be injured and it'll be all done. He kind of peters off after that.
Don't worry. Don't think thoughts like that. Worry about the what ifs and stuff will do you no good. Just make a plan and stick to it.
Yeah.
Something changes it, then it's changed. Nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, I guess the best we could do sometimes is to just be here and remember. And if we remember people, they kind of live on,
They do.
And he takes another drink from the bottle.
And at this point, Gregory decide to slowly just start to see if he can take it out of his hand.
You do so, and he smiles and kind of curls up next to the fire where he has his bedroll. And it's not too long until you hear the rhythmic breathing indicating that he's fallen asleep.
And so, Gregory will he'll get up to take one last look at just the empty open prairie around him in the dark and just be like, just gotta make a plan and try to stick to it. And then he'll make sure the fire doesn't get doesn't burn anything unnecessarily, and just heads off to bed himself.
Yeah.
If you like the style and feel of Missouri Crossing, then you'll like Deluded. Set in 1848, Deluded follows a coterie who have set themselves to find out who is behind a mysterious tonic that plagues the kindred society of Victorian England.